GeoMIP stands for the Geoengineering Model Intercomparison Project. And we started that a few years ago when I was still a graduate student at Rutgers. And basically around that time, there were a few climate modeling experiments done with geoengineering, but all the groups use different greenhouse gas scenarios, and they use different ways of representing geoengineering, and it was really difficult to compare all of the results that we got. And so what we did is we put out a proposal to all of the climate modeling centers from around the world, and we said, we've designed 4 climate modeling experiments of geoengineering, and we'd like everybody to do them. And this is how model intercomparison projects work. What you do is you get a lot of modeling centers to do the same experiment, and you can really get robust conclusions about what all of the models say. And so we designed 4 experiments. We have participation now from 13 models. We've got a special issue of a journal with, I think, about 18 papers right now. It's been really successful. I'm very pleased with that everyone's come together and volunteered their time to do all of these simulations. As far as next steps go, we've designed 3 new experiments to look at marine cloud brightening, and those are being done right now. We have a workshop coming up in April in Paris where we're going to get together and talk about all the results that we have. And GeoMIP's just going to keep going. One of the things that we've said we really want to focus on in the future is impact. So we have all of these climate model results. What do they actually mean in terms of things like extreme events, food security, agriculture, some of the topics that really people care about and affect people's lives. Geoengineering and the study of climate science in general are really tightly connected. So if you look at the people who are doing geoengineering research, or who started doing geoengineering research, a lot of them really come from the hard climate science community. Paul Crutzen was one of the first people to make it a really legitimate study, and he's a Nobel Prize-winning scientist. And so I've come to believe that the study of geoengineering and the study of climate science in general can't be separated. So if we were going to study geoengineering and what it does to the climate, well, we have to know a lot about the climate. If, say, geoengineering were to be done someday, if society has the will to do that, if we wanted to observe the effects, we'd use the same systems that we have to observe the climate system in general. And in turn, if plugging geoengineering simulations into climate models allows us to push the climate models in very different ways than we thought about doing it before, which is really great for learning about how the climate system works. One of the really difficult aspects about studying geoengineering is I'm not sure what geoengineering might look like if society wants to eventually do it someday. So what I can do is I can take a climate model and I can say, all right, here's a greenhouse gas profile. Here's geoengineering done in a certain way of a certain amount. I plug it in. Here's what the climate model says is going to happen to the climate. And I can make really interesting conclusions and do good science with that sort of thing. But those are really important questions. So when is geoengineering started? So what does the greenhouse gas trajectory look like? How is geoengineering to be done? Or is it going to be space mirrors, stratospheric aerosols, marine cloud brightening? How much is going to be done? So let's say the goal of geoengineering is to reduce temperatures from present day to, 1980 levels. That's a goal. It's a different amount of geoengineering than if you wanted to reduce temperatures to 1950 levels. And so all of these questions are really important, and different ways of simulating geoengineering and climate models gives you very different answers as to not only what the climate effects of geoengineering are, but also the impacts of geoengineering and how geoengineering might affect people's lives if it were ever done. So really, the hardest part of geoengineering is, in a sense, figuring out what geoengineering is. And I'm not really sure I have the answer to that. I don't know if climate science can have the answer to that. It's a hard question.